Hi, everybody. My name's Skylar Brasher, and this is my final presentation on recruitment and workforce decline. A little outline, we're going to do an introduction, go through my literature review, go through my survey of work values that I performed on new entrants to the industry with methodology and survey results, current challenges in recruitment based on those results, proposed strategies moving forward based on results, and finally a conclusion. In introduction, workforce decline is not a new issue. It's a historic issue. It's been going on for a while, at least since 1990. Here where Jones actually is forecasting a situation that we're in. It's very similar to what we're in now. Currently, about 20% of our workforce is over the age of retirement, at least the average age of retirement. Then that's combined with the number of construction workers that are between the ages of 25 and 54 has dropped 8% in the last decade. That's the next group of workers, but that's supposed to fill in for that group that's getting near retirement age. Many contractors still don't have formalized written recruitment procedures. This has been true for a long time. A lot of contractors want to wait and let people come in and then they hire them. They don't actually want to go out and get them and hire them. And the Associated Builders and Contractors, also known as the ABC, recognize these issues, and they actually invested $1.6 billion in 2021 into education to try and combat workforce decline. They also published these graphs in 2022 and 2024. As you can see, they're supply demand graphs with spending versus employment, where the idea is you're trying to get spending and employment to equal each other to some extent, where the amount of you're spending is also the amount of that you're employing at the same time. As you can see, the efforts they put in 2021 didn't really change a whole lot. You can also see the downward spike in 2020 from COVID, where we had the big layoff. But from 2022 to 2024, you can see there's not much difference. If nothing else, it's actually became a bigger difference between supply and demand in 2 years, where the counter probability is quite a bit different. It's estimated that this is around 650,000 jobs difference between spending and employment, meaning that those people didn't come back after COVID, some for some reason. In my literature review, I had 16 articles. These sources included the Associated Builders and Contractors, which accounted for a lot of them, Journal of Construction Engineering and Management, the Journal of Professional Issues in Engineering, the Practice Periodical on Structural Design and Construction, Project Leadership and Society, and ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter was interesting one because it's not very scholarly, but it is what recruits are seeing. It's a good perspective. So the keywords in my literature review were workforce, recruitment, candidates, sustainability, and apprenticeship. The number of articles I found were 16 in total, with the most being 5 from 2024, 4 from 2022, 2 from 23, 2 from 21, 1 from 18, 1 from 1996, and 1 from 1990. Okay, so getting into the actual survey of work values. This was performed on new entrants to the industry. Into the methodology, the way that we went about it is I work for RGB Recruitment. I'm the head of it. I created it. I have the ability to perform a survey in 6 weeks if I need to. So what we did is I go to a lot of career fairs, and we also have a system for post-graduation callbacks. So career fairs, I actually got to go out and meet kids and see if they're over 18, and if they are, I get to see if they want to take my survey. For post-graduation callbacks, that's where I call the kids. They leave me their name and number when I meet them at various career events, like career fairs. And then I call them back as we get closer to graduation time to see what their plans are. And hopefully I'm in them. But even if I'm not, I still offered for them to take the survey so that we could better understand what their values were in picking their careers. Um, so the survey was conducted over the course of 6 weeks. It was mixed method, so the survey itself included 12 topics that needed to be responded to. These topics were like a value, and you needed to rate this value on a scale of 1 to 5 in its importance to your work values. So some of these would be like pay, how pay would affect how pay's work value affects you, how control of work schedule affects you, how a company's commitment to safety affects your career choices. As a 1 would be not important at all, and a 5 would be extremely important. It's mixed method because we use the 1 to 5 scale for quantitative data where we could compare it, and then it's also qualitative data because at these events I'm also taking free responses from teachers, students, candidates, just everybody who's involved in the recruitment process so that I can better understand the wants and needs of the candidates. It's estimated around 124 surveys were offered to eligible candidates. We met a lot more kids, just it was hard to find over 18 and wanting to take it. But out of 124 that were offered, 50 did respond. So that's a 40.3% turnout. This is the results. As you can see, it's varied results. The big number that pops out is the 87%, which is pay. It was very important. The color scheme that you can see is actually section focuses. The previous study where we got the survey from wanted to see if there was a correlation of where the questions were broken up into sections, and then to see if the sections, there's any correlation there. And those previous studies, there was no correlation, and in this study, I can concur that there was no correlation as well. As you can see, I abbreviated the color scheme abbreviations next to the responses, and there's not any significant correlation. So since there wasn't any correlation in section focuses, I decided to take the top 4 most important subjects from the candidates, which was pay, work schedule, commitment to safety, and opportunity for career investment and advancement, and make those key points in the study that we focus on strategy and challenges. Skipped over it. So current challenges in recruitment based on the results. Pay was the main one at 87%. Entry-level pay increases are happening in competitive non-skilled industries. For example, fast food worker, the average pay for a fast food worker in Arkansas is $16 an hour. The average pay for a Walmart employee in Arkansas is $20 an hour. In comparison, the average pay for an apprentice plumber is $18 an hour. And the average pay for an apprentice carpenter is $17 an hour. So they're comparable numbers with Walmart actually taking the cake out of the 4. Um, Another issue is that a lot of candidates want a different pace. This kind of correlates with the work values of work schedule and commitment to safety. I think that those 2 work values also work hand in hand, which is put on display here as you can see after COVID, that's just one of the big side effects after COVID is we kind of had to catch back up after we had the layoffs and the delays. And we never really quit catching back up. We never viewed that time as lost time. We just reviewed it as time we need to catch back up to. At the same time, a lot of workers want time, they want a slower pace so that they can learn as they are on the job. So like as they're learning new skills, they want to have the time to be able to develop those skills instead of feeling rushed to meet a schedule or a strict deadline that could be pushed back further. They want a little bit more time where they can learn, uh, which is understandable. And in doing so, they would also be attributing to safety because you would have time to do it the right way versus rushed. Also, another issue is that college is being pushed more so than trade work by society. This is proven in a sample study I did at Truman High School. We had 95 seniors in attendance. 20 of those seniors actually plan to join the workforce immediately after graduation, and 75 out of 95 planned on pursuing higher education and not joining the workforce, meaning that only 20 out of 95 are actually wanting to get jobs out of high school. A big contributing factor to this comes from another study, Jones 1990. Careers in business, law, medicine, and similar fields, they appear more attractive to candidates. They think they can put the work in academically early, and then it's less work in the long run. But in trade, we have a lot of benefits that we don't offer, or that we don't advertise. We offer them, but we don't advertise them. So, propose strategies moving forward based on results. To address pay, I think that we need to conduct a standard review of current standard practices of your company versus the industry. Make sure that everything lines up right. You're paying your workers fairly compared to other industry standards. I think after that, there needs to be a follow-up comparative analysis of industry standards versus competitive non-skilled industries, like we did earlier with fast food and retail. Make sure that we are paying fair enough wages where we can actually attract and retain employees. We also need to review our recruitment practices and make sure that we're advertising that we are paying competitively. We don't need to just go out and say that, do you want to be a plumber? Come be a plumber. We need to say, hey, do you want to be a plumber? We can pay you more than Walmart can. And bring those kids in, show them that this is actually an opportunity that's worth taking. So strategy two, addressing scheduling company safety. I think that if we can just add more time in the process of bidding, I think that will help a lot. Just trying to get as much time as we can for our employees to be able to do their work safely and efficiently. I think that's very important. I think employers should put an emphasis on this where employees know that we want you to do your work at a pace that you're comfortable with and not accelerated work that's going to be more risk. Strategy three, that's me down in the corner at Fairfield High School this year. We need to frame a better image of our industry in the eyes of society as a whole, including high school career advisors. When we're developing internal recruitment programs, which is a big deal, where we actually go out as a company and say we want you to work for my company. We don't outsource our recruitment to a third party. We need to focus on small groups for recruitment, not big groups, and we need, or even maybe just a single recruiter like I do. That recruiter needs to be close enough in age that they can relate socially to the seniors. They need to emphasize that the candidates that work is essential that they're doing. And they need to put a special focus on maintaining relationships with the institutions that are facilitating that meeting that day. So like schools or maybe a career organization. We have Jonesboro Area Plumbers Association. Strategy four. This is kind of a summary strategy. So one, two, or three kind of has to work in recruiting kids in order for you to be able to put that new employee into apprenticeship. But it needs to be noted because as we recruit these kids, we need to make sure they're developing skills, not staying unskilled. We need to develop those skills and put them in apprenticeship programs where they can not only learn under a journeyman in the field, but they can also learn in a classroom under a journeyman in the classroom. The code book's really important. They need to know all the stuff in order to be safe and efficient. And this is really the goal of recruiting is to get them through apprenticeship and into their journeyman license. Conclusion, our sustainable skilled workforce is essential. It needs to be maintained and it needs to be sustainable. We need to be able to recruit kids and we need more skilled workers. It's essential for us as an industry to understand the root causes of the reluctance and appeal and values to our industry and to put forward new strategies based on those results that we get. And I think this study does a pretty good job of identifying some of them. So I hope you guys enjoy it. This is my reference list and get in contact with me if you have any questions. I appreciate y'all taking the time to listen to me and hope y'all learned a little bit about recruitment and workforce decline. Thank you.